Hey, what's up everybody? This is Mr. 008 here, and today I have for you Let's Play Bloons Tower Defense 6, Episode 24. In today's episode, we are going to be playing on Impoppable Mode on Tree Stump. So, I am thinking of how I could get started here. Let's try a druid right around here. And, the Druid of the Jungle is one of the towers that I have thought about using, with the, or rather one of the upgrades with the Druid that I would like to try out. But I would like to get open as soon as possible, and we are going to need to have enough popping power to do that for the early game. So, we aren't too far away. And I do have a strategy that I would like to try out in this episode. P.S. It does not relate mostly to druids, but druids are a small component of that strategy. So we are going to get open as soon as we can, and we should be able to get them right there.
Nature's revenge shall be swift
Nice.
and terrible.
So,
All right.
what I would like to do in this episode is use a tower that I have used in a past episode, but I haven't relied on that tower to be the bulk strength of my popping power, or the bulk popping power of my, like of my defense. So, we will need to do a little bit of saving for that tower. I'm not going to say just what it is yet, but one can speculate, and possibly in an easy manner. So today will be my third day of consistently uploading on the channel, like after I have finished my fall semester, in terms of work and all of that is concerned. So after this, for those of you who have been following my personal journey that I have been discussing in some of my episodes, I will be going into my final semester of college, and I will be graduating in May. So, I do look forward to that, and I'm happy to have reached this point, to have gotten this far. However, that is not the end of the educational journey that I am, like, going on, so to speak, that I am partaking in right now. So, I am going to try and keep my uploads more consistent in the future, and hopefully that won't be too challenging. So we will see how we do regarding that in the future. So, there's that tower I was talking about. That is a super monkey, and we are going to see how well we can do, with utilizing this tower. So I'm going to need to get a ninja for now because of that camo green, but I do have a way to take care of the camos as well, with the strategy that I am going to be using. So we are on round 27. The first lead balloons are showing up next round, and open did get changed around a while back. For those of you who have been playing BTD6 like since it came out, or even since a few months or maybe even up to a year after it came out. I honestly forget when this happened, but open was changed around a while back, and now, as a result of that, change, he does not buff any magic monkeys other than druids. I did not mean to put the village there, so I have to exit and come back in. But Oben does work differently now, in the sense of, like, which towers he buffs and what level he has to be. in order to buff said towers. So now the Super Monkey is in range of the village, so that is good. But he does work differently now. He only buffs druids starting at level 2, I believe.
Yes.
And then he needs to be level 11, I think. Yeah, Nature's Clarity for level 11 in order to start buffing non-druid towers. So let's get Shark Sharkins to better take care of these camo Bloons for now. And we can get the radar scanner actually now. So I am going to see, can I place another Super Monkey here, or am I not able to do that? It's looking like that may not even be possible, which would be disappointing. But, I'm going to wait until after this round is over and just test something. I want to see if I can move some stuff around, even though that would mean losing money through selling. I want to see if I can move some stuff around. So it looks like we can put this Super Monkey here now. I'm not sure why we couldn't before, because the village is not on the platform. So the village buff does apply to the Super Monkey on the left, so that is good news. And I'm thinking that we may be fine now. So let's get Jungle Drums for that increased attack speed, and let's also get a Druid of the Jungle to take care of the ceramics. Wait, to take care of the ceramics in a better manner. That's what I meant to say. I have been a little bit tired for these past few days, so if I do stumble here and there, I hope that isn't a problem. But yeah. So we do have the radar scanner now. The druid does not have camo detection, so I'm thinking of getting another druid in range of the village, like right here or so. So let's get Druid of the Jungle there, and I'm not sure what cross path I want to get yet. But what I will say is that it is time to start working on my Super Monkeys a little bit more. So, as for what I would like to get, I think that I would like to upgrade these two Super Monkeys to Sun Avatars, and then maybe get something else that will help out as well for this game.
Awesome.
So let's go ahead and upgrade straight to Plasma Blasts with this first Super Monkey, and we will do let's see. I'm thinking of also getting a discount village actually, which I probably should have done before getting that. But let's get this discount village anyway. It will still save us some money in the end. And now the Sun Avatar upgrade is 20,400 as opposed to 24,000. So 15% off, that is pretty good of a deal, especially for an expensive tower like that. It does not work on upgrades beyond tier 3 no matter the price. Note how the Jungle's bounty is $6,000 in range of the village, as is its default price. So that does not do anything, unfortunately. But the Monkey Commerce is still overall a good upgrade to get, just in general. So we are almost halfway to our first Sun Avatar, which is pretty nice. And after we get that upgrade, we will also get the range upgrade for it as well. And that should help out substantially, both in terms of attack range and also pierce. And Oben's buff is not applying yet on the Super Monkeys because he's not level 11 yet. So the Sun Avatar will be even stronger relative to how strong this Plasma Super Monkey is. So Speaking of Plasma Blast, this upgrade was nerfed a while back in terms of its raw power, however it is also cheaper. So technically it's a rework because it's cheaper but also weaker. But overall I'd consider it a nerf because it means that Plasma Blast is not as effective of a cross path for a Robo Monkey or Dark Knight as it used to be. However, overall I'd say that Plasma Blast, either way, is probably, in almost all circumstances, the better cross path anyway, even after the nerf. So, there's the Super Range and the Epic Range right there, and, honestly, I am a little bit surprised at how, the range did not increase, as much as I was expecting it to. But then again, as I said in my previous video, I have been playing more BTD5 lately, and as such, it is a little bit, like, different in BTD5 than in BTD6 for some of the upgrades and all of that. And one of the ways in which that is true is that the epic range for the Super Monkey in BTD5, even without a village buff to help it along, is almost as, like, it covers almost the whole screen once you have at least a 0-2 Super Monkey in BTD5, but in BTD6, that is not the case. It's more along the lines of half to 2/3 of the screen, if we're talking in area rather than just radius, that is. So yeah, something like that.
Nature prevails.
Although radius-wise, it's almost 2/3 of the screen, at least if we're only counting the map. But it's more like half the screen, so area-wise it's more like a 1/9 to 1/4 of the screen. So yeah. So let's also get our second Sun Avatar, please work towards that, and we do have Open's buff now, Nature's Clarity, for a little bit of extra range as well as for the extra Pierce. So let's go take a look at that now. +5 range and +2 Pierce. And Druids get an additional +1 Pierce alongside the +1 from the level 2 buff. So notice there are 2 buff icons on the Druid right there. There aren't any there because this Druid's not in Open's range, but right there are 2 icons. And that's because Druids are, after this rework that happened with Open, that is the only, the Druid is the only tower in the game that can still inherit both Open buffs rather than only the second. But also, speaking of reworks, I noticed in the update 34.0 balance changes that Sorta got a rework, and from what I've seen, it looks like her base attack is weaker, but her abilities are stronger. I haven't looked into like the nitty-gritty details, but from what I have seen and heard, I think that she is more ability dependent, but can still be as strong as she once was, or at least as she was prior to this update, if her abilities are used correctly. But I don't think that she can be like as strong as she once was, because she can't like do like a 1-tower Chibson resort or anything like that anymore. So yeah. Speaking of hero balancing, I want to know your thoughts in the comments about Geraldo. Do you think that Geraldo is too strong? Because he's pretty much the strongest hero in the game, even after being nerfed a few times.
Target.
And I want to know, do you think that he is still OP and in need of more nerfing? Or do you think that he should be as strong as he is because of the fact that he requires like a lot of micro and all of that, because you have to visit his shop and buy a bunch of stuff rather than just placing him down and using an ability here or there.
ZOMG. Handle
and
it.
all of that, basically. That's basically what
Nature
I
prevails.
mean to ask with this. So, yeah, would like to know your thoughts on that. And there is another tower that I would like to get in this game. If we do end up getting that tower, that would be pretty nice, because that's another tower that has been buffed recently. Not that some of the other towers I mentioned were buffed, but this tower that I am speaking of now was buffed to be more offensive while still retaining supportive properties. And the tower that I speak of is the one that is an upgraded version of what I have selected. That would of course be the Spirit of the Forest. So here we are in round 84. Let me just say that things are nice and smooth so far. We are still sailing pretty smoothly right now. And these ZOMGs are taking a little bit of time, but they're not taking crazy long. So I feel like we may need more Moab popping power for round 100, but other than that, I think we're fine. And if these BFBs, even fortified BFBs, are going down that quickly, I think that we should be pretty okay for the DDTs that will be coming in 3 rounds, as well as in 6 rounds, 8 rounds, and 12 rounds from now, respectively. So we have just over $10,000 more that we have to get in order to get the Spirit of the Forest, and I think that this tower will be quite helpful. And even though the Spirit of the Forest is not a good DDT popper, for example, having the thorns, the vines rather, all along the track will be quite helpful. Both against ceramics and against even Moab class Bloons, especially the ones that are green and blue rather than brown and are positioned closer to the tower itself. So that will be quite nice to have. DDTs on round 90 are getting a little far, so I'm thinking that we do have to get more for round 95, but we are going to end up having more by then. So $2,000 to go, and then we will have the Spirit of the Forest ready. So I'm eager to see, with the help of the MIB and also the Heart of Vengeance for the extra attack speed, how well will the Spirit of the Forest do against DDTs? So we will find out pretty shortly. Round 93 will sort of be like a trial run or a test run for round 95. And the DDTs go down really easily and quickly that time. So I think that we have round 95 in the bag. And we do still have some extra money, so I'm thinking of what we could do with that. I'm thinking to keep going with towers that Open can buff to get a sticky bomb right there, which will especially help against round 100. Because sticky bombs are good against bosses, especially like early bosses, like tiers 1 and 2, and at least tier 1 for the elite versions of different bosses, especially Lich, because the sticky bomb does not rely on buffs to make it powerful, whereas other towers like Overdrive and Taxone do rely on buffs, and Lich steals those buffs and stuns the towers when doing so, so those towers are not necessarily best for that. But here we are, we now have the sticky bomb helping out as well. I don't think we'll have enough money for the master bomber, but that's okay. What we can get is maybe a third sun avatar or something, although it will be blocked partly by the obstacles wherever we do end up placing that tower. So there is a spot right there. You can see the range increase when when the tower rather is in Oben's range. So there's round 98, and it's not exactly easy or smooth, but it's also not too challenging for us. And these vines are definitely helping out. So there is the third sun avatar, and round 99 goes down. So here's round 100, and this should be no problem, especially with the sticky bomb helping out. And also these thorns that the Spirit of the Forest throws, they deal 20 damage each rather than like 1 or 2 that they used to. So it's looking like we will be able to pop this bad. It is getting a little far, but it's not the end of the world. A win is a win. And there we go. So that's going to wrap it up for episode 24 of our Let's Play series. So thank you guys for watching, and I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have enjoyed, make sure to leave a like and subscribe, and I will talk to you all again in the next video. Peace out.